Hi, I'm Jose, and this is my good friend Matt with SBT. And Matt's going to go ahead and show us how to change the oil on a 4-stroke. Matt, what are some of the tools that we're going to need for this job?
Well, we're going to need our oil filter, as well as our oil filter O-rings for the Sea-Doo. And we're also going to need our oil extractor, which all of this can be found on and be available on our website at sbt.com.
Perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. What is the first step we're going to need to take in order for us to start changing the oil?
Well, once we have the seat off, we're going to have to remove the engine cover. Remove the coolant bottle here, which you're going to have 2 clips on either side. And then you're free to take the top cover off, as well as the bottom cover. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and start the ski. Jose, would you do that for me? And we started at the engine for about 30 seconds because you want the engine to be warm, and also so that you fill all the oil passages so you get an accurate reading, and you can also suck out as much oil as possible. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and open up our oil cap. And we're also going to take our oil dipstick out, which is actually where we're going to be sucking the oil out of this machine. And we're going to use our oil extractor. And we're going to feed it down the dipstick tube.
Now, Matt, when we're fitting this, this tube down inside of the dipstick tube, how far do we have to go?
Well, you'll actually feel it stop. But you want to get it down as far as possible. And it's basically, once it hits the end here, it's actually in the bottom of the crankcase. So we're going to go ahead and pump our oil out.
How much oil are we going to expect to extract out of this?
About 2.5 quarts is usually what you're going to get out of it. You're not going to be able to completely get all of the oil out of the system.
This looks like it's a slow process. How long does it take to change oil on a 4-stroke?
About 15 to 20 minutes. All right, and when it's just about finished, you're going to hear kind of like a bubbling noise. So it looks like we're finished, so we're going to go ahead and pull our tube out. And we're going to wipe it off as we pull it out. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and remove our oil filter, which is found on the back of the engine on the Sea-Doo. It's actually on this cap here, so we're going to go ahead and remove this, which is actually a number 10 Torx. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and remove the oil filter cap, and you're going to need a flathead screwdriver for this. And we're going to go ahead and remove our oil filter. So that just comes out. And now we're going to go ahead and replace our oil filter, which you want to make sure that the oil filter hole here actually gets seated properly. And you can see down here into the cover where the oil filter is held, it has a hole here that matches up to that. So you want to make sure that it seats properly on there. Now we're going to go ahead and replace the oil filter cap O-rings, which we're going to start with the ones that are on the outside of the cap here. And then we're going to remove our O-ring from the bolt. And we're going to go ahead and replace that O-ring. Slip it all the way down to the end of the bolt here. Then we're going to replace the O-rings on the cap. Okay, now we're ready to put our oil filter cap back on. Okay, now we're ready to go ahead and put our oil back into the engine. When you do this, you want to make sure that you have your dipstick actually out, because if you leave it in, it can cause an air pocket and give you problems when you're filling it up and give you false readings. So we're going to go ahead and put this in now. Okay, and now that we put in our oil, we're going to go ahead and check our oil level. So we're going to put in our dipstick. Let me check where we're at here. So we have our low mark here, and we have our high mark. We're pretty close to the middle, so that's actually pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and cap everything off. All right, and now we're going to put our cover back on. Okay, then we're going to put our coolant bottle back on. And we're done.
Awesome. Well, that looked like it was easy enough. Just to let you know, all of the stuff that we used here today, the oil changing kit, the extraction pump, the O-ring set, and the oil filter are all available on the website at sbt.com. And for more videos like this, check out the SBT YouTube channel. I'm Jose and this is Matt. Thanks for watching.